Hello, everyone. My name is Yifei Wang. I'm a PhD student at University of Maryland. I'm very excited to present this paper titled Contract Type and Client Satisfaction in Online Labor Markets. This is a joint work with Professor Huang at University of Maryland. I wanted to motivate this paper by the following observations. A recent report from Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that 57 million of Americans work as freelancers, and that is over a third of the US workforce. Freelancers contribute around 1.2 trillion in freelancing income into the economy, and that is nearly 5% of US GDP. Online labor markets are freelancing marketplace that connects the individuals with job opportunities in the context of knowledge work. Platforms like Upwork and freelancers.com helps the freelancers to showcase their expertise and bid on projects from potential employers which offer them flexible work schedules. However, more than 60% of the OLM projects fail to reach a contract and result in a waste of time and resources for both employers and workers. Notably, one of the most significant challenges faced by the OLM is the issue of information asymmetry. In OLMs, prior to contracting, information asymmetry arises from two primary sources. First, clients are uncertain about the freelancer's quality type, since they cannot exhaustively screen and negotiate with all freelancers who bid on the same project. Similarly, freelancers are uncertain about a new client's quality type as well. Also, they lack complete information about the project. Information asymmetry prior to contracting is called adverse selection, and it affects how client and freelancers came into the contract in the first place. Research is very rich in this area trying to figure out this problem. However, much less of the research attention is paid on the role of post-contractual information asymmetry, moral hazard, in determining the outcome of a contractual relationship. So the broad focus of our work here is to bridge this research gap and examine how the contract type used in an OLM platform will influence the client satisfaction upon project completion. We're particularly comparing between two typical contract mechanisms in most OLMs: fixed price, short as FP, time and material, short as TM. We ask, how do the major OLM contract type, fixed price, and time and material affect freelancers' perceived performance differently? And on top of that, we explore the moderating role of the project expertise requirements. Expertise requirement here is defined as the client's requirement for freelancers' ability to act knowledgeably in a specific domain. We built our theoretical framework through the lens of economics of information and to understand how the choice between time and material contract and fixed price contract can lead to the implications for moral hazard during the project executions, which in terms affect client satisfaction. In the context of OLMs, monitoring is very difficult for clients compared to an offline workplace. Although most online OLMs have some sort of monitoring systems that allow the client to keep track of the work progress, the client and workers typically do not have the face-to-face interaction. Under a TM contract, we argue that clients cannot accurately observe the workers' effort and work time, leaving room for opportunistic behavior on worker side. But facing this issue, the clients may either incur greater monitoring cost to reduce the likelihood of moral hazard, or just tolerate the possibility of moral hazard. In contrast, under an FP contract, the worker bears a significant part of the project risk to begin with. Therefore, they have stronger incentives to execute the project and to manage in an efficient manner. Therefore, we expect that the post-contractual client satisfaction will be lower for the TM contract type compared to the FP type. Furthermore, we propose that the differences in the client satisfaction between an FP contract and a TM contract will be moderated by the project expertise requirement. We argue that when the outcome of the project is easy to access, such as those entry-level projects, the FP contract is more effective reducing the likelihood of moral hazard. Therefore, an FP contract is likely result in higher client satisfaction compared to a TM type. However, for expert level project, the outcome is usually more difficult to verify for client, especially for those who are not familiar with the related knowledge domain. Therefore, we hypothesize that for the expert level project, the difference in client satisfaction between the two contract types should be less salient than for entry-level projects. We set our research context on Upwork, one of the world's largest OLM platforms. To obtain the preliminary evidence, we randomly retrieved 20% of the active users who identified themselves as the independent data analytics freelancers in the US. And then we collect their complete public job histories on Upwork during the period of 2014 to 2020. Our unit of analysis is at the project level. Our dependent variable of interest is measured by the client's overall ratings of a project performance on a scale of 1 to 5. The main independent variable of interest is the contract type, which is coded as 2 dummy variables. We use the expertise level of the project as a moderator variable, and we control for the variables at both freelancers and the project levels. We first use a fixed effect models to test our hypothesis. The result shows that clients who adopted a TM contract have a satisfaction rate that is 0.13 points lower than those who used an FP contracts. On a scale of 1 to 5, this is about 2.6% lower. On the other hand, project that requires experts seems to benefit from the TM contract format, where expert freelancers work on a TM contract receive on around 0.15 points on average relative to entry-level freelancers. And despite the use of the fixed effect models, we suspect that there are some unobserved factors that affect the contract type choice. To address the endogeneity issues, we identified 2 potential instruments. First, whether both contract parties are in the same country. And second, during our sampling period, we observed a significant commission fee policy change in June 20, 2015, which could impact the choice of the contract type differently. So we therefore implement an endogenous treatment effect model. The results here are largely consistent across the board for the main effect of the TM contract and the moderating effect for the expert level. We also find that the 2 identified instruments are positively related to the choice of the TM contract type. To conclude, this paper contributes to the IS outsourcing literature that has so far understudied moral hazard issue in contracting. We provide new insights into understanding how TM and FP contract progress differently in the context of OLMs. We provide evidence of the moderating effect of the expertise levels requirements on the demand side. Our study has also important and managerial implications for managing performances expectation on the OLM platform. Future work will examine other potential moderators and explore other creative and technological domains. This concludes my presentation, and thank you very much for your attention. Here's my contact info, and we look forward to hearing your comments and suggestions.